Enjoy this Wild Soul Gathering production. I'm Dr.Sandra Marie. Pour yourself a really tall glass of spiritual curiosity and join me for the Happy Hour for the Spiritually Curious podcast. In the spirit of happy hour, cheers to some new insights, peace, revitalization, and perhaps an aha moment that may change your life. Enjoy this Art of the Nervous System replay. Welcome back to the Art of the Nervous System Care Summit. I am joined by Loa Blasucci, a certified nutritionist and energy medicine therapist recognized for her work at the intersection of science and spirituality. Loa has helped countless women and a few men release blocked energy and restore balance inside and out. Welcome.
Hey, thank you. Happy to be here.
We're going to be talking about how the body holds emotion, particularly in the second chakra. But before we go any further, can you help us understand why this area of the body is so central to safety, creativity, and emotional regulation?
Yes, absolutely. The chakra system is central to everything that happens in our lives, what we feel, how we behave, what we think, what we say, all of those things. The energy of the body is driving all of those things. And for women, and I kind of loved in the intro how you said countless women and a few men. I love that for women. I love that we're open to those things, but I did kind of like smile when you said that. And truly, what's happening right now, Sandra, in the world is that so many women are struggling with this lower center. The second chakra is down deep in the belly. So it's a little below the belly button. It's tucked back in the body, kind of down, not quite to the ovaries, but it's down low, right in front of the spine. And the energy that runs this center, it's connected to creativity and it's connected to your emotional health, and it's connected to feelings that you take in from other people and other places. This kind of creativity, this center, it drives so much of who we are personally and individually. But in the world that we live in right now, it's just exhausted from all the distractions and so many things that seem to be judging us and making us feel some kind of way. As I, look around the world and as I work with my client practice and those that follow me on social, it's a problem right now. So many women are really struggling with this center low in the body.
Yeah, I was really excited that this is what we were focusing on with the summit. And, that is the overarching reason for the summit overall. I feel many people don't realize their bodies can hold emotions literally long after the original experience has passed. Is that also part of why this area has become so
Uh,
important?
I love that you said that. Yes, our bodies are a walking history book of everything that we've ever felt. All of those feelings and all of the experiences and all of the things that whether you achieved something or whether you were hurt at some point, whether you were raised by a narcissistic alcoholic or a really loving mother and father in the home, all of those experiences teach our energy centers how to flow. They teach our brain how to keep us feeling safe because the brain always wants you to feel safe. Our brain always
Yeah.
wants us to feel safe. And if something is too much, it'll just say, hang on, not now. We got to keep that for a minute because that would be too much for you to feel. And your biofield, it is all around you. So if I held my arms straight out, or if you held your arms straight out to the sides and just look, that's about how large the field is where your energy is radiating around you and holding you together. And the chakras are the center of this system. There are so many other things. There are meridians,
Right.
many different aspects to the energy that runs you. But as an etheric clairvoyant, the chakras are really my specialty. So I talk about them a lot.
I love that you put a graphic to that so that people can really wrap their heads around it. So you're known for working directly with the body's energy system rather than just talking about experience like a lot of other modalities.
Yes.
When you work with this area of the body, what do you actually see or sense shifting for people?
The body is always telling the story, always. It is always keeping record of what's happened to you. It's keeping a score, a tally of how you have felt. It's always responding. It's always responding. In every case, and there are no exceptions, the energy center that is connected to where that feeling is in the body, it is directly involved. And the beauty about energy work is that it allows you the chance to rebalance and heal without always having to beat yourself up with hardcore shadow work. Sometimes we do need to look at the shadows. We need to shine some light in there and say, what is this behavior? Why do I always do this or kind of respond that way? Is that really who I am? Or is that something that somehow in my life I was told that I kind of act that way? And it's what makes us the most wonderful species on the planet is that we know that we think, we know that we have thoughts. And just that alone gives us an opportunity to be radically honest and say, what is happening for me? That has looped around in my mind many times in my life. Let me just can I give you an example?
Yeah,
Okay.
absolutely.
I was a makeup artist in Hollywood for a very long time, and I would love to explain how that is the most perfect job to lead me to what I do today. It is on so many levels. And what I noticed, you stand so close to an actor. They're in the chair, and I'm right here. I'm just this close. I'm looking. What needs to be done? What needs to be smoothed? Where am I going to put a little light? And I was always reading their energy. I always was. I didn't
Mhm.
know it at the time. I was a young girl. That started for me when I was about 18, but I was. And so I would kind of do a little grooming. I get someone looking good. And then they would, look up from their script or their book or whatever they were doing, and they would look in the mirror and their eyes would go to the same spot every time. And they'd go right there again. And the next person may go somewhere else. After so many years, I realized their eyes are going to the place that they don't like. Somehow, little Billy so and so in the fifth grade said, you have a big nose and you're stupid, or whatever he said, or whoever he was. And somehow that landed for that lovely woman. And from then on, she checks that space. She may not be thinking about it in thoughts, but when her eyes go to the mirror, she went there and I could see it. And it began to teach me a lot about the heart of a woman.
That's a really powerful, powerful observation. When people come to you feeling stuck or depleted or disconnected, and you just talked about the unconscious activity that was conscious to you, how does it show up in the body before it ever becomes a story in their mind?
Getting right to what you just said, I love, and this happens a lot, and it just warms my heart. A client will come to me and she'll say, you know, I don't know what it is, but something is off. And I don't know why, but something is off. Oh my gosh. Like I have chills right now. I love that so much. I already love that person because they're getting it. They're listening. They're connected to their energy. They're not just stuck up in this loop in their head. They're feeling something. Maybe they've felt a shift but they're noticing. And that's so beautiful. And I already know if I take that person as a client, I already know she's going to do well. She came to me and said that. It's like, oh, girl, I adore you. That's awesome.
Lo, I want to go back a little bit to something that you mentioned earlier when you were talking about the second chakra and all it holds. For a lot of people, I want to respeak this maybe a little different. This area holds not just the creativity, but it holds rage, shutdown, sexual
Yeah.
trauma, and the weight of carrying other people's emotions. You
Yes.
mentioned that before,
Yes.
but that is so powerful and it paralyzes so many people. When that energy is locked down for years, What does that do to the nervous
Oh my
system and the
goodness.
sense of self?
First of all, to all of my empaths, and listen up, girls, because this is for you. An empath is someone who has maybe without intention opened up that center. And it got so open that now it feels everything. It can read the room. It can know when someone is hurting. It knows all of these things, but it's a double edged sword. That information can be exhausting. It can cause burnout. It can cause depression, so many things. But for example, we come by these things honestly. So you've got a cute little girl, but her dad's a mean drunk. So whenever he's drinking, he's mean. And she comes in skipping through the door from first grade and she's happy. But now she sees what's been happening. Now that joy that she had goes, hang on, hold, just put that somewhere. What's happening? Am I safe right now? Should I not say anything? Do I go get under my bed? Do I get him a glass of water? She's in that mode of
Right.
how do I keep safe? And this center, once it becomes open like that, is taking in, it becomes porous, is the best word I can use to describe it. It's taking in other people's energy. That emotional energy is now felt by that lovely woman. She doesn't need that. That's not hers, first of all. That rage and that meanness of that dad, that's not for her to feel. She's not mean. She's been terrified by it, but that's not her emotion. Yet it was taken on by her at a young age in many, many cases. That's just one example. It can happen in so many other ways, so many other events of our lives. And the second chakra, that's our seat of how we create. We are connected to God. God is the creator. He is the creator. And so for us to be connected to Him, we create. And it's a beautiful thing. And I encourage everyone, whenever you feel an idea coming on, like, what if I could, yes, that's you connecting to that light, the light of Christ, that beautiful source. You want that. That's beautiful. But the second chakra, when it gets too open, it's too busy feeling everything else, and that connection gets blocked. Artists and designers and painters and songwriters and, beautiful creative writers, they can be prone to a block. They'll tell you in many cases. And it's because that center for them, it taught them a lot. It spoke to them a lot. They had a gift for something. But that energy that helps them create, when it gets stuck, they'll feel that in a writer's block or feeling like they just can't quite get to it. But this center for everyone, whether or not we are a creative person, it also governs pleasure and how we connect to other people.
Thank you so much for putting context to that because it creates so many different layers of understanding with that. In your work, what is one small but noticeable change people often come back to you with when the second chakra begins to regulate?
Oh, yeah, God, that is such a good question. You are adorable. What a great question. The payoff. Let me just talk about the payoff because, oh my goodness, it's real. It's so real. That second chakra, it's down low in the body. Your root chakra is below it. It's facing down. It's grounding you, connecting you to the earth. But this one, the second chakra facing forward, radiating that light. When it comes back online, now we've got connection from upper centers. They can connect down through that root chakra. That energy drifts down to Mother Earth, who is always there for you, always. She is always supporting you, no matter what your own mama was like. Mother Earth is there for you now. And you, as a grown ass woman, you can reach out to her, and she is like, darling, you just let that drop right here. I will transmute that. And whatever feelings you have when you know how to ground, and I would love for everyone. Can I offer a free gift? I have a
Absolutely.
a I used to charge for it. Now I give it away because the earth is as humans, there's a lot of light and a lot of dark, and I feel like let's just get this out there. I have a grounding meditation that will walk you right through it, and you can just go to my website and get that. It's heyloa.com, and it's free now, and I'll just walk you right through that. It's how to connect your root chakra right down into the earth and allow your own energies to then come online. But to continue to answer your question, when that second chakra, when it is in flow, now the feelings that come from that, not only do you get your creative juice back and your mojo, and you feel more loving towards other people, but there's a certain amount of wisdom that lights up because it's now that heart energy, everything is moving through you. Your energy centers are connected. You begin to feel like I'm okay. Your anxiety drifts away and you begin to feel like you've just got this little bit of support, like something's got my back and I'm all right now. And it's that release of anxiety. So the goal is when that happens for you, sustain it. Sustain it. Because in the sustaining becomes the being. So when you have those moments of, okay, I did a grounding exercise, and right now I'm feeling pretty good. I was really nervous. I'm not so much, and that's good. And so then you take the moment. This is the power. Just take the moment and feel that and sustain that for at least 30 seconds. Keep that with you. Just sustain that moment of, I'm a little calmer. I'm a little more clear. Because in that sustaining, that's where your shift is going to come from, your energetic transformation. It evolves you into a person who just is that. You don't have to work so hard. You just are that calm, clear.
Beautiful. Let's go back to the grounding exercise.
Sure.
I feel like many people in the audience are carrying anger, panic, or an emotional charge that honestly they don't even consciously feel. It just lives in the body. I love that you're offering this up because it is a crazy world that we're living in right now. Is there something we could do briefly with the audience?
Sure. I would love to share something with the audience. I feel like if you're hanging out with us and listening and talking, it tells me that your heart's a little open and you're looking for some
Exactly.
discernment. So let's just give you something
Mhm.
to see how you do. Your
Yeah.
energy radiates forward. So, in your own sensibility about yourself, when you notice this dynamic exchange of what's happening outside your body, energies are meant to flow and cross over. You are in the middle of a torus, not like the zodiac, Taurus, of a torus wheel. You are in the center and you want that to be dynamic and to flow and to move. So if you just, like everyone, just for a moment, feel your feet on the floor and close your eyes and then just kind of settle into your chair so you feel good, you feel supported. Relax your eyelids just a little bit. Take a nice big breath in, just a big breath. And we'll just let that go with ease. Then relax your belly. Now notice that this beautiful wheel, it exists all around you. And we want those energies to cross right in front of your heart, right in front of your chest. So if you could just take one arm, and you can do this in your mind or with your arm, and just bring that to the opposite side. This one goes here to the opposite side, and just notice that you're making this cross right in front of you. And you're doing is allowing your energy to be with you, to be here, to have you. And it may sound simple, but it makes a difference. And all you're looking for is a subtle shift. And then take your awareness down to the base of your spine and then your pelvic floor. Now, with your intention, create this grounding cord. Let's just create it today. And then when you're ready, you can go get that meditation and do the whole thing. So for now, with your awareness right there down low in the body, that column, depending on how tall you are, is probably 7 or 8 inches across. You want to connect that to your body. And if you're seated, it's going straight down under your chair, straight down this open column of light. Just let it drift down and let it drift down another mile, way down. And just notice that column. That is your birthright. That is connecting you to Mother Earth. And then right up at that pelvic floor, seal it. We're going to put that in place today. Seal it right there. Take a nice deep inhale breath and exhale slowly with ease. Now, before we go, Sandra, let's just belly breathe a little bit. Let the belly fill up like a big, beautiful balloon and just let it sink back into the body on your exhale. And put light just all around you in your field. And here's our last inhale breath. Expand this breath. Breathe in, breathe in, breathe in again, and then let that all go. And then you can open your eyes. All we're looking for here is just a little shift, just a little feeling of, I do feel a little calmer. And guess what? I did that on my own, did that for myself. So if any of you feel just a little better, even if you just notice it in a subtle way, beautiful. You did that. Well done.
Well, thank you. I feel a little calmer myself. That was beautiful. Before we
Then
finish up, I do have a couple more things I'd like to talk about, but let's give the audience a little bit of a second here to let that integrate a little
sure,
bit.
sure. Yeah. Here's a nice way to do that. Everybody, let's stretch up. Let the spine breathe. All these beautiful vertebrae. Your energy is moving along the spine. Just let it open and take your shoulders back, drop them down. Just let your heart center open. Lengthen your neck. Nice. Now we're all back.
That was great. And that was a really nice way to segue from some of the bigger, heavier parts of this conversation that we talked about with the second chakra. My other curiosity is, how does the second chakra awareness actually show up in the everyday moments, like our relationships? We talked about the creativity, but even for decision making, before people really realize it's nervous system related.
Oh, it affects everything about your decisions, who you will allow in, what you allow yourself to connect to. It affects each of us in our nervous system so deeply and is so wrapped around it, this beautiful, intelligent body that you have. Anxiety is connected to the second chakra. So, whatever it is that
Okay.
ramps you up, then what we do is we look to our story. Why do I get so mad when I'm in traffic? What's the big deal? I'm probably going to get there at the same time anyway. Why am I freaking out? Or whatever it is. We all have
Mhm.
things that we react to. We use that
Yeah, I
anxiety to
mean,
get in touch with it.
I feel like anxiety has really become epidemic, and not just in the US, but it's a global epidemic
It
issue.
is. Sadly, it truly is. And rightly so. Look what we've been through. All the things. I won't even list them.
Yes.
We all know what they are. It's a perfect proving ground to develop anxiety. So, what we're looking for is strength of our own psyche, the strength of our own mind to be able to say, yeah, that makes me nervous, but is that really necessary for me to feel that right now? Or is that something that's coming from, pick a past experience? My dad yelled at me every
Uh-huh.
time, blah, blah, blah. My mom was never, whatever it is. When you can kind of find those things and say, but me right here, I can override that. And here's the trick. Here's what I offer my clients. You want to recognize it. When it's a thought, First, you've got to recognize it. Then, if we can put a label to it, that gives us some clarity. Like, that's just fear. That's fear. I don't really feel that way. That's just a fearful thought that I'm having. You recognized it, you labeled it. Now you've got something that you can release. Now I can let that go. It's not the truth of me. The truth of me that is right here in this moment. I feel grounded and I'm okay. That's the power that begins to come to you when you strengthen your own psyche. So you watch for things like believing something that is like groupthink, because this side that you're on or this group of people, they all say, ba, 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 ba. Then you're like, really? I don't know. Maybe I don't. That's strength of the mind. And maybe you do agree, maybe you don't. But taking that moment to say, is that true for me? Is that true for me?
So important. Lo, what do you feel is important for the people to understand about the pace of the work when working with this area of the body, especially if they've lived in survival mode for such a long time?
Okay, here's the thing. Here is the thing. Energy can shift the moment you decide. However,
Ah.
now I said however. However, when there's capital T trauma or a whole long list of little t traumas or whatever it is that you have, as
Mhm.
humans, we have patterns. We've developed patterns in the body, in the system, in the thoughts, and it's absolutely in our energy field. Those patterns can drive this process and make it take longer than it needs to. That's just us being human. But what I want you to know is, everyone listening, when you're ready, that energy will shift, and it can shift like that. You don't have to put yourself through hell and back. Just know that as an energetic being, you can heal, you can recover. You absolutely can. I do this all day long, and I see miracles every single day. And I want you to
I
know
bet you
that
do.
that is for you. Whoever is hearing my voice, it's for you. You can heal. And so much of it is done by you. And I just, in this moment, I just feel my heart just expanding out and just sending love to those who are listening, because it's the truth about you.
I love this. There's so many different modalities out there, and your work's a little different. And so this is going to piggyback on that a little bit. In your experience, when someone starts working with the stored emotion and things begin to move, how do they know they're staying within a safe, supportive range rather than pushing too far? Or is that really part of your work? And I'm thinking more of other modalities.
Ask me that another way, because I want to get this right for you. Thinking of a couple of things. Ask me again in another way, please.
People are starting the work and things are starting to move and shift and they're feeling things. Does one need to take in consideration the pace of the moving, staying with safe, supportive range? Or can they push too far too quick?
As humans, thank you. I got it now. I know what it is that
Okay.
you're getting to. Our energy fields create a frequency. That frequency,
Right.
that is how you roll. That is who you are. That is what is going on for you, how good your life is, how you feel, what you think, all of that. That frequency is dictated by the energy that you are radiating according to the experiences you've had. So that frequency can shift, and it will shift when you are ready. But this is exactly why, for example, take manifesting. It became such a catchword. Everybody was talking about
Yes.
manifesting, a year ago, how to manifest. Someone who sits in their parents' basement and doesn't have a job cannot manifest $1 million, because they're not a frequency match. It's not an energetic
Right.
match. They could not receive it. As we grow as humans, the understanding that we gain, and as we shift our energy, and like I talked about earlier, maybe go back and listen to that, sustain it until you become it. When you sustain that feeling, that's how you shift your energy, raise your frequency so that you can heal at your own pace. When it comes to working with the energy of your healing, it's about what you
Right.
can handle. And that's going to be dictated by the life that you've lived and how open you are to adjusting that frequency.
I appreciate the clarity with that because I think many times, many people in the audience have probably dipped their toe into a number of things if they've been experiencing, a lifetime of different symptoms and events that they've been trying to put together. I think that that clarity is really important, especially as you share what it is that you do and what makes it a little different than maybe some of the other
And can
things.
I say something right here? And this is so important
Yeah.
because what you just said is really a frustration to a lot of people they're trying this and then they try that and then they go
Yeah.
over here and try that. They're trying all these different things. You have to have a system. Your physiology, God organized it to work. There is order. It takes consistency and a system that's going to work with every part of you. I don't dip around into all these things. I do not do tarot cards. I don't practice Reiki. I don't practice a lot of things that some people consider energy medicine. I stay rooted in the science of what you are as a human on this planet and the frequency that we're dealing with and the life situations that many of us have. And I have a system to go through your energy centers and through what you're storing. And that's how we find it. Then, as an etheric clairvoyant, that allows me to be able to see it more clearly. Sometimes I know what's going on in the body, but I have to understand what's going on in the spirit so we can get to the place that will bridge that gap. And you can do this for yourself if you are in tune.
I appreciate the differentiation and the clarity and the uniqueness of what it is that you're doing. As we're winding down a little bit with the conversation, you talked about the grounding. Are there other small things that people can do to support their nervous system, especially if they notice emotions rising from the second chakra? You had mentioned people who drive and their anger gets a little set off. You're in that moment. Is there's something you can do in that moment as you feel it coming upon you?
Yes, that's another good question because energy most of the time when someone's nervous system is dysregulating or having a little moment, it's going up. It's going up into the sixth chakra. That's here. It's moving around, bouncing around. And I describe it as a beautiful decorator white home with white sofa and white pillows and just beautiful. And somebody's got a muddy basketball and they're banging against the walls and the furniture. And like that's what's happening to this beautiful space that is meant to just have light and peace in it. Those thoughts, that chaos, it can be regulated. First of all, you got to recognize it. Then you can begin to breathe through it. What I'm saying is how energy gets up here, chaotic and kind of stuck. We need it to move it down through your systems. So, in simple terms, just stop, feel your feet, close your eyes, take your awareness down there, just feel them. Wiggle your toes. Just notice the arches of your feet. Get in touch with that. First of all, in that exercise, you get really good at it, more and more powerful at it. But you just are taking your energy down for just a moment, letting it drift back down where it goes, and then breathe deep, slow in and out breaths. Then, once you've done that, move the breath into the belly. We did this a minute ago. Let it float up, let it
Right.
tuck back in. Now, you absolutely, with just that little format, you can just bring yourself to a little better place. And I recommend you practice those steps and try that in that order until you get where it's just like, whoa, okay, here it's happening. Breathe, drop it down, and settle. Belly, yeah, you get really good at it.
I love that description that there was no misinterpreting that picture as you described it. If there's one misconception about the second chakra that you would love to clear up, especially around emotion, creativity, or just holding too much, what
Oh
would it be?
gosh, without a doubt, the fact that it is not meant to be open, open, open. I've been in yoga classes where they're telling you just open up the chakras. No, no. All of your energy centers have an aperture. They have settings where they feel good. They know how to just flow once they get into that setting. So if you catch yourself, what does he think? What are they? What's that? I'm gonna not. You reading the room like that, like, oh my gosh, wouldn't you catch yourself doing that? just remember, that's not for me. That's their energy. And you learn to separate your energy from theirs. If I could say, have one takeaway to all these beautiful people listening, Sandra, I would say, if you're going to just take one thing from this conversation that you and I have had, with all the things that I've mentioned, add those to the fact that you now know that that's not yours. This is yours. This is your energy. And when it feels like that, when you lean in and start to worry and wonder and catch yourself, that's not yours. You're going into that place that's energetically not for you. When you know how to do that, you have a skill that is life changing.
Extremely powerful. And what I'm going to say is that particular part of the topic about opening and closing the chakras and working with that, there is very little information or conversation on that. And that's part of the conversation that really needs to be built on and put out there.
Yes.
Because people just truly don't understand it.
It's so true. And there's so much to the systems that run the energy of the body. There are so many different systems, thousands of chakras. It's not something to be dabbled with. This is where you need a professional who understands it. And I knew once I started to just be able to see more and more, I knew I had to get formally trained. And I am. And I use those skills and techniques to help people know themselves better. It's not a matter of just dabbling and trying this and trying that. There is a way, there is a plan, and you want to walk through that. If you're going to build a house, that's what you're going to do. You're not going to build the roof first. You got to have a foundation.
Absolutely. There's so much focus on the upper chakras also and not enough on the lower chakras. And I think that a lot of times the importance and the value has been getting lost too.
So true. And you just watch for the benefits. My favorite bonus that you get from energy balance is how it slows down the aging process. It is a tool of reverse aging. And I'll have this conversation with anybody who wants to have it. Without energy management, you can do all the things. You can take all the right things and get all the right treatments. But you being able to manage that part, the mitochondria of the cell, that little charge, that's you being able to brighten that. That's how you slow down your aging process. It's the truth.
Well, thanks for sharing that. And honestly, I think that whole topic is a conversation for another day. Maybe you and I can get together with that.
I love to, that's like, I do the party dance on that. I love talking about it. My next birthday coming up in a couple of weeks, I'm going to be 68. I want people to feel so empowered about their age. My mom never liked to say it. She never liked to tell people. And I was like, I didn't understand that. I'm glad to have been here for 67 years. 68.
Well, I'm 68 now, so I'm there with you. I have always felt that, and I have felt the same way.
Yes.
Really, as we are winding this up, is there anything that you would like to leave people with who are just beginning to listen to their bodies differently?
I would like to tell them, and just listen to me clearly, and let this flow from my heart to yours, whoever you are on the airways. You are doing better than you think you are. All of those worries and fears, they're all up in this thought process, the brain. And the brain doesn't always tell the truth. We know that brain waves radiate out to here. We can test them outside the body. That tells you a lot about your thoughts. They're not even up in here. You're connecting to something that may or may not be true. And that's what I want to say to you, wherever you are listening. You may be doing a lot better than you think.
I believe that is absolutely truth. Loa, thank you for this conversation. I have to tell you, your work was new for me. And as I prepared for your interview, I found myself really, really appreciating the way you approach the body, emotion, and energy with such clarity and care. And I'm going to say uniqueness, but I think it's just hidden. It's healthcare. I come from a healthcare background, and this is the future of healthcare. This is the new healthcare. It's not even the future. It's already here. So I really loved preparing.
Now I just really like you. Now we're going to be friends because you just said that. It is the future. So I have so much respect for you. Yeah. Thank you. This has been my pleasure to be here. And you do so well. Thank you for being so insightful and asking things that really affect women. That's really how their hearts feel. Thank you.
You're welcome. And to learn more about Loa, you can go to her website, heyloa.com.
I keep it easy. I'm Hey Loa on Instagram, Hey Loa _ on TikTok. I'm heyloa.com. I'm easy to find. Thank you so much.
Thank you for joining us for this episode of Wild Soul Gatherings Happy Hour for the Spiritually Curious. To learn more about our guests, please go to our website, wildsoulsgathering.com. We're very eager to hear from our listeners what you thought of the episode, topics you might like us to cover in the future, your thoughts on spirituality, questions you may have. Please feel free to send us an email at wildsoulsgathering@gmail.com. This is your host, Dr. Sandra Marie, sending each of you peace and love. Until we meet again, embrace your wild soul.